Welcome to Astrodology, the podcast that brings you knowledge, wisdom, and principles that can help you find the peace and comfort we all seek and deserve in our lives. Hi everybody, welcome back to this episode of Astrodology with Astrid. I'm going to continue the conversation about energy. This episode is all about vibrational frequency. Again, that's a word that's tossed around a lot lately as people are focusing on manifestation and drawing in and attracting what they want. The question is, when you talk about vibrational frequency, is what are you attracting? What are you actually drawing into yourself? The way you think is the way you feel, and the way you feel is the way you vibrate, and the way you vibrate is the way you attract. Again, the way you think is the way you feel, and the way you feel is the way you vibrate, and the way you vibrate is the way you attract. Make it your mantra. The way we feel is the way we attract. The way we feel is the way we attract. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. We've heard this said numerous times. But sometimes I feel like you have to focus on what you don't want to actually drill down to what it is that you want. I was inspired by the book Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. It is a wonderful approach to the whole business of believing, trusting, and honoring ourselves. It's a brilliant way to look at what we've probably heard throughout the years. I like her funny and straightforward approach to how powerful we truly are. The book is worth every penny. I actually heard it on an audio, which I highly suggest. When you're driving around in your car, you can hear her words and stay connected to positivity. I have extracted things from her conversations for this message. Again, there is so much more than this condensed version that I'm about to present here. I was shocked to hear that she recently passed away, especially since she spoke about optimum health being one of the benefits of raising and keeping your energy raised. Apparently, she was okay with her death and she was actually ready to go. In her book, she touches on death and the fact that it is a joke. She says that we don't truly die, our energy just transforms or transfers. Creating more energy and light means you are diving into spiritual alchemy. You are working on self-purification. Why bother raising your vibrational frequency? When we vibrate at a higher plane, you can affect matter. There it again, science coming in saying that everything is just mashed up molecules to create matter. So when we vibrate at a higher plane, you can affect matter. What is energy? Here's a term about energy. The driving force behind the perfect movement of things. Energy is the driving force behind the perfect movement of things. In her book, Lynn says that we have to feel things into being. We've heard this numerous times. She's not the first to say this. Our greatest obstacles in life begin when we are toddlers. As toddlers, we start to explore the exciting world of things around us. The problem is we're repeatedly told the word no. No, don't touch that. No, you can't. Go on the street. Stop, you'll hurt yourself. Be careful, and on and on and on. By the time we are 3 years old, she says we have heard negative statements 60,000 times. It's no wonder then as adults, many people find it difficult to take risks because they hear the unconscious no in their heads. The way we feel is the way we attract. Cruddy in, cruddy out, says Lynn. We are like tuning forks and we magnetize things to us. Light frequencies attract light frequencies. It's a universal law that how we happen to be vibrating determines what we are feeling. Our original intent for being here is to feel good most of the time. Lynn describes 4 steps to helping us begin vibrating and creating positive frequencies. Number 1, identify what you don't want. Number 2, identify what you do want. Number 3, get in the feeling place of what you want. Number 4, expect, listen, and allow it to happen. Again, she's not the first one to speak of these qualities. Earl Nightingale spoke about it. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke about it. Madame Blavatsky and so forth and so on talked about how you have to expect it and be in the frequency of it. It's like listening to a radio station. You have to be on the right channel in order to hear the radio station. That's the same thing with attracting things into our lives. I have learned that instead of saying what we want, we should state what we desire. Wanting is always granted, and that is what we get. The feeling of wanting more money, love, or whatever we are looking for. But desiring opens up the possibility of creating. Lynn does say in the book that original intent always manifests as a desire. When you want something, start appreciating it instead of worrying about all of the details. Then you are sending out a powerful signal for desire to magnetize. Begin to turn yourself on with the thoughts. It's the feeling that will do it, not the thoughts alone. So we have to have the thoughts and the feelings, and they work together as partners. As we move into adulthood, we learn to override our feelings because of negative thinking. All negative thinking comes from our don'ts, wants. Don't want to be late. Don't want my children to be hurt. Don't want to lose my job. Don't want to lose my money. Don't want to get a divorce. Don't want to live alone the rest of my life. Instead of saying, I want out of debt, we can say, I want to use my talents in a way that are fulfilling and profitable. Don't get caught up in words. Stay in touch with how you feel, she says rather. When we look back at the past with regret and we say, if only is a past tense of a don't want. Some wants are not positive. When we say, I don't want to be heavy, I don't want to work so hard, etc., we are again focusing on what we don't want. Think of a don't want as any feeling behind it, and you will attract it. Focus on what you don't want and watch it get actually bigger. If you focus on a negative thought for 16 seconds or longer, it is on its way to you, whether you like it or not. It's universal law. This is the reason we need to dwell in possibility and positivity as much as we can. If you can feel it, you can have it. The theory is if we do small, we won't be hurt big. That's what we say to ourselves. Make a list of what you do want without fear and limitation. So we're taught, reach for the sky, reach high. So what is it that you want? Health, bank account, good relationships, sales to close, business to build, etc. We can achieve anything we want once we learn to balance our energies and emotions. We have an unrestricted, uncontested freedom of choice. Except it's no accident. We create everything that we experience. That bears repeating. We have an unrestricted, uncontested freedom of choice. Except it's no accident. We create everything that we experience. Quit trying to find yourself and instead allow yourself. I think that is so beautiful. A grand life is your right, and you are life, therefore you are your right. You are a force of life, so act like it, become it. Stay in the feeling place of having while staying out of the feeling of not having. That one I struggle with a lot. But find a way to feel good about your wanting. Whether it exists or does not matter. The feeling of having it will magnetize it to your life. You are a life force. And I always say to my yoga students, your body is your life. So when you think of my life, Hopefully, you're making sure that you're including your physical body, because wherever you go, your life goes. The idea is don't ever give up. Keep your focus off of conditions. We have to keep waking up every day and keep trying over and over again. Don't yearn. Yearning is negative. It is awareness that you don't have something. So when you're yearning and burning for something you don't have, that is actually negative. When we are raising our vibrational frequency, we are in deliberate creation. When we are creating energetic changes, we need patience. I have a lot of patience, but it runs out quickly. Start the day with an intention to look for positive aspects about everything and everybody. Then intend to find them and ignore how someone else is flowing their energy, and pay attention to your own energy, only to your own energy. Nothing is more important than feeling good, so live in the feel-good state and watch how fast your wants come. We have to start small, and then that will gain momentum, and it'll gain the momentum necessary to launch you into that authentic feel-good state. Expect your wants. Stay out of the past. It doesn't exist. Live in the feeling place of your wants and listen for your guidance, your own intuition, and then act. Never, never act before you gut check or heart check with your intuition. Follow your impulses that you receive. That will be your highest guidance. I learned a huge aha from Lynn regarding low energy. Life, she says in the book, there are days and weeks when we are vibrating high and feeling so good, but then out of nowhere seems to come a Grand Canyon deep low sensation. And where does this deep Grand Canyon low sensation come from? When we do deliberate creation, we are affecting our energetic body, which is comprised of hormones. Life may get bumpier for a time because you've increased your desires, so you've increased your magnetic energies. But with those desires come your life. Learn to feel, whether it's good or it's bad. Stop labeling things as good or bad. Just label them as they are. We have 3 types of wants. 1, real, things we don't want. Number 2, negative wants. I want to be well implies illness. I want to be rich implies poverty. And number 3, right to want. Accept the fact that it is not only appropriate and proper, but crucial in life to want. Finally, instead of making a things to do list, make a things to feel list. What a great reminder this is for me, because I am the queen of making to-do lists. I recently changed that to must-do list because I love the impact and the power of must. Must creates more action energetically. But gosh, I think I'm going to take that one on of making a feels list. And in closing, this thought comes from Carol Adrian. I will remember to focus on what I want, not what I don't want. To breathe and remain as calm and centered as possible. To go within for strength and to trust in the divine power of love. There are forces beyond my control, and it is my job to add something positive to each moment. I am a ray of light and a fountain of good humor, allowing my own special life purpose to be used for the common good. Hope you got a lot of value out of that. Just even speaking it again, just really lifted my vibration. Talk about vibrational frequency. So vibrational frequency, where are you vibrating? And remember, the biggest person that is affected by your vibration is yourself. Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of Astrodology with Astrid. Remember, vibration, energy are your birthright, and it's just a choice. And over time, inch by inch, step by step, stone by stone. We build it up over time, compounded. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode. Namaste. Thank you for listening to Astrodology. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support the podcast, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it by sharing this program on social media. You can also follow me on Instagram at Coda Life Goddess or at codalife.com. Coda is C-O-T-A, Coda Life Goddess or codalife.com. Thank you again for listening to Astrodology, and I'll see you next time.